Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, my dear sister. So you've written into us about the struggles, the emotional struggles that you are facing right now, and really understanding why it is that people of a certain skin color and gender seem to be more favored in this life. And this is causing you great frustration. So especially as a black female, you see white men being seemingly privileged in this life. And I can understand why it feels this way, because it does feel like people with white skin, especially male, seem to be more privileged in this life. But there are some really important things that we need to remember that are very important in helping us to understand this situation. Now, obviously, it's understandable why you feel this way, given the situation of things in this world and in this life. But the thing that is really, really important to remember is that it is not the color of one's skin or one's gender that is going to matter when it needs to. So Allah is not judging people on the color of their skin, nor is He judging them by their gender. What He is judging us by is by our deeds, the deeds that we do, and by our piety, by our fear of Him. So just because somebody has white skin and is a male in gender, this does not mean anything in terms of their piety and the good deeds that they do. It doesn't. But these are the things that matter, the deeds that you do and your piety. These are the things that really matter. And these are the things that Allah will favor. He will not be favoring somebody just because they have white skin and because they're a male. No, He won't. When it really matters, He'll be looking for the things that really do matter. So, what matters to you is that, yes, you are a black woman. You are not the white male that you see getting all these privileges. But alhamdulillah, you're a Muslim. So Allah has really blessed you with this. He has blessed you with Islam. So this is more of a blessing than having a certain skin color and being a certain gender. The fact that Allah has given you Islam is a massive blessing. Alhamdulillah. And the thing to remember is that, you wrote in your message there that why did Allah create racism? But actually, it wasn't Allah that created racism. Certainly, Allah created us with different skin colors, but not for the point of racism. In fact, He created it for a very different reason, to really demonstrate the diversity, and so that we can see, people of different colors, different color skins, and get to know one another, to get to know people's different ways of life. And alhamdulillah, we can really understand this by, interacting with people of different races. Racism was not created by Allah. Racism was created by man, because Islam is perfect and man is not. So the racism was created by man. So we cannot say that Allah created racism. He created different races, but He did not create racism. That is something that has been entirely created by man. Astaghfirullah. And something else you need to understand as well is that you see these people having, great provisions in this life, but the provisions that are given in this life will not necessarily guarantee them a place in the highest place in the hereafter, just because they have provisions in this life. Quite the opposite. Like I said, to have provisions in this life is actually a test. As much as not having provision, as much as not having money, not having a house, not having food, these are all tests. But so is having provisions. So having money, having this wealth, having this beautiful way of life in this life does not mean anything, because it is a test as well. Because it is about how you use your wealth and how you use your money and how you show the gratitude to Allah, how you might give in charity if you have all this extra money. So this is really a test as much as not having the provisions as well. So to see somebody with having all these provisions is actually really just a sign that Allah is testing them. It doesn't necessarily mean that they are, it is a blessing, of course it is, but it is also a massive test as well. So to look to somebody who has these provisions and, wish that you had the same, it's like asking, you wish to have this test as well. And that is a mighty test to be facing. And one of the other points that you've made, which I would really, really urge you to go back to and look at, is that, you're saying that it makes you feel like you shouldn't pray because, you can't guarantee the reward that's going to come with it. Because you see these people that have all these provisions, that live these great lives in this life, and they don't pray. They're not praying. But don't let shaitan trick you into thinking that that means that you shouldn't pray too. Because the thing is, just because somebody else doesn't pray, that does not mean that you should not pray too. So I would urge you to at least revisit your prayers and why you pray, because you're the one that's going to be held accountable ultimately. So if you choose not to pray, if you choose to basically let shaitan trick you into thinking that just because somebody else who has all these really good provisions in this life that they don't pray, that means maybe you should not pray too, because you could, live the same life without praying as well, right? But don't let shaitan trick you into that. Think about, we know that, to not pray is a sin. And look into the punishment for this as well. And do read about it, read about Islam and the punishment for, the punishment in this life, the punishment in the Akhirah as well. So if you look into this, and it will really make you, really instill that sense of fear into your soul. So please, I beg you, don't let shaitan trick you into not praying anymore. So make sure you get onto this. Just know that, Allah loves you. He's guided you to Islam. And I know that you're struggling with it right now. As do all of us, we all face these moments where we feel like, we've not been blessed in such and such a way. But Alhamdulillah, the biggest blessing we can have is Islam. Allah has guided us to the path of Islam, which is greater than anything, greater than any other provision that we can have in this life as well, because it will be ultimately what guides us to a better Akhirah, which is the thing that matters the most. So what I would urge you to do at this point is to really strengthen your connection with Islam. Link in with other sisters in Islam, learn more about Islam, read more about Islam. Study Islam, and really just kind of help to gradually get yourself back onto the path where you can feel comfortable as a Muslim and really realize the blessings that you have without having to look to other people and the blessings that they have in this life, remembering that actually the blessings in this life is really nothing when it comes to, these are not the things that we are going to be judged on. It's about how we use these blessings. So may Allah guide you on the straight path, and may He ease the difficulties that you're facing emotionally right now, and really just help you to be grateful that Alhamdulillah, you've been blessed with Islam. So may Allah bless you, and may He make things easy for you. May He guide you on the straight path. Ameen.